Hi, we are live. I'm just waiting just for one moment. Okay, I think we're ready to roll. Hi there. So welcome to the beginner's session. So we're going to be taking you through sun salutation, but also through some grounding postures as well. And then we can use those grounding postures when we're doing our sun salutation. So you're going to need, you don't have to have a yoga mat, but if you have a mat, then roll that one out. So it kind of sets your place ready. If you do have any blocks, then get some blocks because you are going to need them. If not, if you make sure that you've got something around you which you can maybe kind of hang on to, a firm cushion, a book. I'm looking around. I'm not going to be able to help you. I'm looking around. Maybe the chair or something, just like a chair that you can, like a dining chair, something like that, and that'll help you out as well in today's session. So if you want to grab those things, a yoga belt as well will be really handy. If you don't have a yoga belt, then grab your dressing gown cord or something like that. If you have a belt, of any description, then just grab that. It doesn't have to be a yoga belt. And then I think we're ready to go. Okay, right then. So if you want to just first of all, just bring yourself down to sitting. So always a good time just to kind of get yourself ready, get yourself into a good place. So a good place mentally for your practice. So just kind of sit down, make sure just your bottom is onto the block and that your legs are free from the block. So the block there just to help to lengthen the spine. Okay, so just take a few moments here. So just sit, make sure that you feel comfortable. So in today's session, we are doing about rooting down. So we're going to be covering a little bit on the first two chakras. So if you're unfamiliar with chakras, you might want to watch one of the yin videos, which are put on the chakra one, and it explains a little bit about what they are on there. So these are energy centers in the body, and they all have different attributes. They all kind of bring something to the table. So when you work, the first three are physical ones, you need to really work to get those in order. So we will be kind of touching on this third one here, but we're going to be mainly working on the root one and the one a little bit higher. So it's Muladhara chakra, and this will help us kind of find our place on the ground, really. And then when we're up into the Svadhisthana chakra, this is about kind of fluidity and movement, so movement in the hips. So these first two are really quite good ones, kind of like for what's going on. We're in week 5 of lockdown, so there's a lot of upheaval for people. So if we bring it really back to basics again and kind of look at that rooting down and grounding, finding new roots, finding our new norm, if there is a norm, that is. So yeah, we need to kind of find our feet. So a lot of people are a little bit disrupted by it, and I think it's getting now where we're at week 5 and people are starting to get a little bit fidgety, so a little bit agitated. They either want something to happen or they're not quite settling with it all. That seems to be kind of what I'm hearing at the moment. So let's just see if we can kind of really calm it down, because we are going to be here for obviously a few more weeks, aren't we? So, and it's always good to kind of get rooted again and be grounded. So while we're sat, just as I say, placing your hands just onto the legs. And we're just sat tall. If we close our eyes, and just bring your attention kind of into how you feel. So how you feel with just your sitting, just sitting by yourself, nice and quiet, hopefully nice and quiet. If you do have background noise, if there's children or anything, just kind of like, as long as they're safe, just kind of have them on a back burner. And then allow the attention just to Start to move towards your breathing. So just focusing just on the in breath and on the out breath. So that's the inhalations and the exhalations. And keeping the body quite soft. So each time you breathe, you'll feel the body just gently start to feel as if it expands and then retracts, and expands and retracts. So we keep that softness in the body. So we not only feel what's going on inside our body when we're focusing on the breathing, we're also taking that awareness just to what's going on in our mind space. Now when we sit here for a little while, and just ask ourselves the question, just what is it that's brought you to your mat? What is it that you're searching for? What are you hoping to find? Now, if nothing comes up to begin with, that's fine. Just to have an open mind in your practice and just to accept whatever comes up. So once we have a thought, maybe that's come up in the mind, just bring your hands together. So palms come together and just lightly touch the fingertips together. Keep a little bit of space just inside the palm of the hand, just connecting with the heel of the hands together. And making sure that the hands just touch softly. The thumbs are just moving in towards the heart center for love and compassion. And just making sure in your practice today that you hold love and compassion for yourself. So again, just thinking of what it is that's brought you to your mat. And if there's any issues which you come up which you feel you need to release and to let go, and also keep that at the front of your practice. When we do our cleansing breaths, then take the focus of those things you wish to let go and just let them move out in that cleansing breath. So just maybe starting now, just if there is just one thing that comes to mind, just take a breath in through the nose, open the mouth and just sigh that out. And work two more. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhale. Keep your intention close and then just bring the thumbs up to the space between the brow bone. So just to reaffirm that intention. And then taking the hands up over the crown. So your intention is then out there. And then draw the hands back down again towards the heart center. And releasing the hands down to the knees. Okay. And softly open the eyes. So if we work with the Ujjayi breathing, so Ujjayi breathing means victorious breath. We hear the sound of that breath. There's a slight closing off at the back of the throat. So similar sort of sound like to Darth Vader, or if you were steaming up a mirror. So that sort of sound. So we do it with the mouth closed. So we do the same sound as we inhale and as we exhale. Oh. So we okay. So if you're not quite there with it, as I was, and maybe needed to have a little cough or something first. So if you're not quite there with it, don't worry about it. Just do whatever you feel you can do today. And if you forget about it, it's okay. I'll keep just reminding you every now and again and just keep bringing it back in. So when we work with the Ujjayi breathing, it helps to keep the inside of the body nice and warm. And it also helps to keep a focus in your practice. So it'll take you more, again, into that head space, into the mind space, and also keeping you fully present in your practice. So more like a meditation in motion as you're doing it. Okay, rather than just going through the movements, we make it a whole body mind thing. Okay, so from there, we're just going to move onto our backs for a moment. So we can just move the blocks just at one side and then coming round, so you're just onto your back. So we will just get in tune just with our core just to begin with. So we can, if your back is a little bit stronger, bring both legs up in towards the chest. If not, bring the legs one at a time. So legs are up, lift the bottom up a little bit off the floor. Take the hands to the back of the head and then lifting up. So that's using the stomach muscles. We're not straining in the neck. And we keep the chin just as if we have something like an orange or something just underneath the chin. There should be no strain in the neck. Now hands are just going to be just kind of level as if they're heading towards the feet. So we're just going to squeeze in and release. Squeeze in and release. Squeeze in and release. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. 3 more. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. And squeeze and release. And then placing the feet down, place the head down. Okay, so place the hands underneath the bottom, straighten out with the legs, and then push down with the hands and bring yourselves up to sitting. Take your blocks, so if you've got 2 blocks, or if you have got some books or even a cushion, then this is going to work. So blocks are just behind and hands straight out in front. So we're just joining the, interlocking all the fingers and just taking the first 2 fingers stretching out and pointing them away. So we can slowly start just to roll down and we get towards the blocks. So we're just there and then roll ourselves back up again. Now the whole time we're doing this, so we're just going to keep doing it. So we're rolling back, just get so we touch the blocks. We're not resting fully over them. Just lift and then come back up again. So the whole time we have the tops of the feet pushing away and the thighs, the whole of the leg actually is moving down towards the floor. And then back up. Now, if you feel that's quite easy, you can push the blocks a little bit further away and go a little bit further down. Again, no resting right down onto the blocks. Just come down just to touch the blocks. And then slowly coming back up again. So really using those stomach muscles. So again, we can stretch away. We're curling out. We're just coming down, just touch the block and then a little bit further. Then coming back up again. Take the blocks just a little bit further away. And then we slowly start to come down again, just maybe where the blocks are, and then all the way back up. And then 2 more, so rolling down, and then back up. And then we have 1 more, so slowly coming down, keep it nice and slow and control just the blocks, and then all the way back up again. Okay, we're going to move those now just out of the way. So come back just so you're facing me, just legs nicely crossed, and then take your right hand down onto the floor. Left palm is facing up. And we're bringing the arm up and over the head. Now the whole time we're taking the arm over, whatever is touching down to the floor is going to be rooting down. Now keep it so the arm is fairly pliable. It's not rigid, we're not going dead straight with the arm. There's a little bit of softness there to it, but feel the bottom firmly rooted, and then bring it back up. Okay, hand going down, and then we're going over to the other side. So we lift up, we feel the stretch coming right from the hip, right through the side, right through to the hand and the fingers as we come over. And then back down again. So we're just going to keep this movement going. Again, feel whatever is down onto the floor to be rooted down to the floor. So feel that nice and heavy. Anything then from the hips and lifting upwards is going to be drawing in and up. So we keep the belly toned, keep drawing in, and that's going to help us to lift back up again. So we're taking the arms over, again keeping them soft, and then again going over. So in order for us to be strong and to be able to root down, we also need to be fairly pliable and we need to be fairly flexible. So again, it's a good analogy for life, and especially life as we know it right now. So we only need to kind of look at this. I was looking at some flowers in my garden today, and some of them look a little bit battered by the wind, but they're really soft and they're pliable. And I just had a quick look at them because I was a little bit worried, but I didn't need to be worried because they're starting to come back up again, because they do have that movement. If they were rigid, like a lot of fences that you see blow down, if you have like gaps in between, then that's fine, the air comes through, isn't it? Okay, so we come back up. So we all need to be a little bit softer, a little bit more pliable, just to see whatever life throws at us. Right, so roll the shoulders back and taking the elbows down and press down. So we lift the chest up and then let the chest come back in, rolling the spine back. And again, move it forward, so elbows are back, and then back in. Now, it's to make sure that we're not just pressing down with the arms, that we are moving the spine into this, then we're going to just let the hands just be by the sides. So we lift the chest forward, and then we're bringing it back. And again, lift the chest forward, and bring it back. And just once more, so just once more out as I turn and face this way. So we're forward and then we're back. Then we come back to upright. Now placing your hands down in front without really overthinking it, not think about it too much. Just roll over the knees and then come onto the hands. Okay, so big toes are together and we take the knees just a nice distance apart. It's a little bit wider than the hips. Bottom is right back towards the heels. Again, taking the arms forward and placing the head down. Again, just get those arms nice and soft, the elbows relaxed onto the floor, and really feel as if you can melt down towards the floor. So we can now just start to begin our Ujjayi breathing if you haven't already. Work a couple more. And just really feel on that exhalation, fully commit to that breath and slowly start just to melt down towards the ground. Now on the next exhalation, just lift yourself up just a little way so your head isn't right down onto the floor, and just working 3 of those cleansing breaths. So anything that you feel that you need to just get rid of at this time. So it breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth. And twice more. So really sigh that breath out, really sound it out. And the last one, so breathing in, breathe out. Good. Okay, so bring yourself up just onto your hands and knees. So knees in just underneath the hips, and we have the wrists underneath the shoulders. So now we can start. We're going to keep our left foot pressing down. So press the top of the foot down, press the shin down, feel the pulling up from the knee, and feel lifting up from the wrists. Take the right leg back. So pointing the toes in, and then start to lift that leg up. So we're keeping the foot and the ankle in line with the hip. Now we're going to start just to draw that knee in towards the chest, squeeze it in and round the back. And then again, stretch that leg away. We have twice more. So we squeeze in, we round the back, and then we go back to the leg being straight, the back being straight. And then last one, so squeeze in, round the back, and then straighten out with the leg and placing that foot down. And then over onto the other side. So make sure the right foot, the right shin is pressing down and you're lifting up from the knee. So we're straightening out with the left leg, lift that leg up so it's hip height. Okay, and then we squeeze it in towards the chest, rounding out, and then we straighten the leg out. So we're not scooping out in the back. And then we round out, and we're squeezing in, and then we straighten out. And we have one more. So we're just squeezing in, rounding the back, so it's pulling right into the belly, and then we straighten out with the leg, and then placing that foot down. Okay. So again, we're going to work onto the legs, but bringing the arms into it as well. So straighten out with the right leg, lift that leg up. So remember, it's going to stay hip height. Opposite arm straight out in front. So we just engage the core muscles, drawing back a little bit, nice and strong in the leg, push your way through the heel, really work it through that back line of the body, just pushing out from, you'll feel that from right underneath your bum cheek, right through to the heel. And then bring the hand back in, bring the leg back in. Okay, onto the other side, so we stretch the leg back, pushing out through the heel, nice long line in the back of the leg, opposite arm stretching out in front. Draw the hand back in and bring the leg back in. Okay, tuck the toes under and sit the bottom back towards the heels. And have a little scoop back so you feel a nice long stretch along the backs of the toes and a big stretch in the whole of the foot. Okay, now hands are pushing. When we push with the hands, make sure it's just your fingers that are pushing in, and then it doesn't want to be too much or overly too much pressure on the heel of the hand. That's going to really kind of feel like you're working that into the wrist. So make sure that index finger's pressing down, and then bringing the knees away from the floor. Keep the bottom scooting back. And slowly start to straighten the legs. So we come up into Ardha Mukha Svanasana, so downward facing dog pose. So we're really going to work just to edge those hands away, pushing back so it brings the chest more towards the legs. Come right up onto the toes, keep the hips up nice and high, and then working those heels back. Woo. So you'll hear that cracking. I crack quite a lot. Okay, now we can start then just to walk the feet in towards the hands. So we're coming right up, and we're going to bend the knees, a good deep bend. Again, there's a bit more cracking from me. So sinking the bottom back, keep the heels down. Take your arms, palms facing up, and scoop them up and pull them right up over the head. And then with the hands in. Okay, so the hands come back in towards the Anjali Mudra with the hands in Namaste. So working through a nice simple sun salutation. So again, remember your Ujjayi breathing. We're going to start off with this. So we're inhaling and exhaling. Now you're going to keep going with that breathing because I'm not going to be able to do that breath and talk to you at the same time. So I'll be giving you lots of instruction, and then when we come to pause bits, I'll keep bringing it in and doing the Ujjayi breathing. But you keep the Ujjayi breathing going. Okay, so we're going to drop the hands down and then inhale, taking the arms up over the head. Now when the arms are up over the head, think of the feet. Push the feet down into the floor. Really root them down. Nice and strong in the legs. And a little bit of softness either sides of the body. And see if you can just draw a line along the ceiling with the arms. And looking along the ceiling, and then come back to upright. Take the arms out as if you're pushing away in a big swan dive to come all the way down. Bend your knees as much as you need to get the hands down to the floor. Come up, hands onto the shins and lengthen forward. So we go into a flat back so we get as much length as we can, and then back down again. Bring the right leg back, big stride. Okay, and the left leg back. Now knees down. And then we come forward, so chin and chest come down, release the feet, and we take a little lift up, and then coming back down. Okay, so the lift is as high up as you want to make it. Push back now to the knees, tuck the toes, and lifting up. So we can just edge the feet in just a little bit further forward. We take a few breaths. Now the whole time we're working this, anything that's the nearest to the ground, think of it rooting down. Spread the toes out as much as you can. Spread the fingers out and making sure we have the fingers pressing down. Okay, so we're going to start just to come up onto the toes, walk the feet forward. So right up to the top edge of your mat, bend your knees, arms wide, inhale, come all the way back up. A slight bit of a back bend, and then drawing the hands back in again. Okay, so we'll go again. So drop the hands down, inhale as you take the arms up. Exhale as you take the arms wide, coming all the way down. Inhale as you come up to halfway, lengthen forward, and then back down again. So taking the left leg back this time, nice big stride, and then the right leg back. Okay, so we're knees down, chin and chest come down, slide through, release the feet, little bit of a lift. Remember, some of you may be in your lift here. That's fine, that's all okay. So those that can, come up a little bit higher. Then come all the way down, push back to the knees and lifting up. So edge your feet in just a little way, take a few breaths. Again, think of the points which are down onto the floor. Think of the shape of the pose. So in this shape, we're like a triangle shape. So the point being my hips, hopefully being the highest on that. So a nice base across the floor. Nice, strong and stable base. So nice and strong like a mountain. Okay, and then start to walk your feet in. Bend your knees. And then taking the arms wide, come all the way up and back in. So we'll start just to add a few more things into this now. So we drop the hands down, inhale, taking the arms up over the head. Exhale, with your ujjayi breathing, I hope, bringing your hands down to the floor. Remember, bend your knees as much as you need to. Hands come onto the shins and lengthen forward. And then back down again. So we're going to take our right leg, nice big stride back. Left leg back. Okay, so we're in a plank position. Now from here, rock the weight forward slightly and see if we can come down slowly all the way down to the floor. Now I'm going to just start to lift up into that cobra pose again, but we're just going to work it just one side. So we're going to push into the right hand and turn and look back. And then bring it back down. And then we push into the left. We turn and we look back. And then we bring it down. And then we're pushing down and we're lifting up. So looking straight ahead if we can. Remember, some of you may have the elbows a little bit more bent. What you're not wanting to do is lock your elbows out. And then slowly come back down again. Okay, so from here we can tuck the toes in. You can either come up, let me show you first, come up to the knees and then lift back. If you feel you're able, the toes are tucked, and we push down and we come all the way up, peeling ourselves up off the floor and then coming back up again into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Taking a few breaths. Okay, again, walk the feet in towards the hands. Legs may be a little bit straighter this time, that's fine. And then just dropping down, bend the knees a little bit just to get that pushing down feeling, rooting down, to come all the way up with the hands up over the head and then drawing the hands back in again. Okay, so we're going to work it now just with a lunge onto that. So drop the hands down, inhale as you take the arms up over the head. Exhale, taking the arms wide, coming all the way down. Up to halfway, lengthening out, and then back down again. So hands are down to the floor. Okay, we're going to take the right leg, a nice big stride back. Bring your knee down, and the toes are going to stay tucked on that back foot. Pull up away from that front leg. Now really root down through that front leg, taking the arms up over the head. Turn the palms in slightly, and then really over-exaggerate the turn, And just bring the little fingers in a little bit more and reaching up towards the ceiling. Now think of the things that are on the floor. So the foot, the knee, the toes. Push them down as you lift up. Good, and then bring the hands back down to the floor. We're going to straighten out in the back leg, front leg back to join it. Okay, with knees down and then chin and chest, or if you feel you're able, you come right the way down into Chaturanga. We turn, we're just opening up again on that right side. We bring it back down as we exhale. We lift up on the left, and we exhale, we go back down. We inhale, we lift up and look forward with that stretch out through the belly. Make sure your belly is drawing back, and then coming all the way back down. Okay, when you lift up, either knees come up onto your knees first and then push back up, or it's elbows in, we push up and away and all the way back up. Now, making sure that it feels accessible to you. So if you need to, come up onto the knees. Okay, there's beginners at all different levels. So, and these classes are inspired by my beginners class who I've worked with for a little while. So, some of you are at the stage of Chaturanga and some of you are still at the stage or want to just do where we come up to the knees because that feels better for you. So hold in there, just take a few breaths. Keep with your Ujjayi breathing. Okay, and then walk the feet back in again. Soften the knees, taking the arms wide and bringing the hands up over the head and coming back in. So just hold here, just take a couple of breaths here. Just maybe closing the eyes. And we have one more, okay? So dropping the hands down. Inhale as you take the arms up over the head. Exhale as you go wide, as you come all the way down to the floor. Inhale as you come up to halfway, lengthen forward, and then back down again. So this time taking that left leg, nice big stride back. Keep the heel lifted as you bring the knee down. So you're pulling up away from that front leg, it is rooted down. Taking the arms up over the head. So we get a nice long stretch out as well through that back leg, through the hip flexor, right in the front of the thigh. But we're pulling up away from the front foot. Even though that front foot is rooted down, we lift up, we're opening the chest. Good, and then bringing the hands back down again to the floor. Straighten out in that back leg, front leg back to join it. Okay, again from here, either knees down, chin and chest, or we come forward into Chaturanga, but we're coming all the way down to the floor. So release the feet, press down through the right, and then turn and look back. Bring it back down again, and then lifting up through the left, and back down again. And slowly through the center, lifting up, looking up, make sure those shoulders are down, and then back down again. So either come up to the knees and lift up, join us in Ardha Mukha Svanasana, or we press the toes into the floor, we press down with the arms, and we lift back up and edging back. Okay, so here again, focus on your Ujjayi breathing. Okay, now work 3 cleansing breaths. So we're going to inhale through the nose, exhale. Inhale through the nose, exhale. Inhale through the nose, exhale. Then carry on with your Ujjayi breathing. And we slowly start to walk the feet back in towards the hands again. Bend your knees, taking your arms wide. Inhale as you come all the way up and draw the hands back in. So here, just take a couple of breaths. And while you're taking these couple of breaths, just notice how you feel. Keep the feet firmly rooted down. Feel the rest of the body pulling up like the roots of a tree. So on the roots of a tree, they're going down and trying to pull up anything that it needs from the earth. And the rest of it is strong and stable. It's pulling up, even like my lupins that were flying all over the place. Strong roots going down. Hopefully, they should be fine. I'll show you them. I'll put a picture on when they're in full bloom. So we keep that rooted down. Okay, so we're going to take this into chair pose. We're going to drop the hands down. Bend your knees, and as you bend the knees, we're going to slowly start to take the arms up over the head. So it's just as if the bottom is going to sit down onto a chair. Keep the arms up, stay looking up, kind of in the level with the hands. As if you're looking through that channel of where the hands are. And then inhale, come all the way back up. Now the next time we exhale, we're going to exhale, bend the knees, and we're going to take a swish over to the right side and blow that way. Then we inhale, we come back up, and we're going to exhale to the left. Inhale, come back up, and then exhale down the center. So we inhale, come back up again, and then once more to each side. To the right. Inhale up, exhale to the left, inhale up, and the center, and inhale up. So we come all the way back up. Now when we come up, we're going to turn to the right side, just with the arm. So we're going to turn, bring that out to your right side. One hand back behind, one hand out in front. So the body is turning, but the weight is even on the feet. And then we inhale, come back up to the center. Exhale, going over to that left-hand side. Inhale, back up. Exhale, going over to the right. Inhale, back up. Exhale to the left. Inhale up. Exhale to the right. Inhale up, exhale to the left. Inhale up, and exhale, drawing the hands down. Okay, dropping the hands down, going back into chair pose, Utkatasana. So we bend the knees, we're taking the arms up, and again, we're looking along that line in between the hands. And then bring the hands to prayer position, bring them all the way down to the floor, straightening out with the legs as much as you can. Take the feet back, so the feet are going straight back into Ardha Mukha Svanasana again. Now I'm going to take our right hand first of all, and it's going to come to the outside of the left leg. So when we take hold there, we're just turning and we're just looking underneath that left armpit. We're going to keep the legs as strong as we can. We just keep holding on and we're just turning and just looking underneath. And then after the next exhalation, just releasing the hand back. Again, get yourself leveled up. And then ready for the other side. So bringing that hand across, it creeps to the outside of the right shin and the calf muscle. We turn the head, so we're just looking underneath the arm. After your next exhalation, bring the hands down, so we're back again into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Now take the feet back a little bit further so we come back more into our plank position. Okay, from here, take the weight slightly forward, bending the elbows, coming down. So from there, we're just going to, again, just a little turn to the right side, and then exhale as you come down. Inhale as you come up to the left, and exhale back down. So inhale, coming up, right through the center, and exhale down. Now bring the hands back a little bit further. We're just going to come up onto the knees, take the bottom back towards the heels with the head down. So keeping going with your Ujjayi breathing. So we're just going to do 2 more breaths here. After your 2 breaths, then again like 3 cleansing breaths of what you feel you can just get rid of. Just think of one thing that you want to get rid of, whether it's fear, whether it's a bad thought of something, negativity. Okay, taking the arms, stretch them out in front. So coming back up again into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Now from here, we're going to be lifting up with our right leg, taking that leg up nice and high. Now squeezing that leg in towards the chest. See if we can just tap the outside of that right elbow. And then taking that leg back up in the air again. And then squeeze that leg in towards the chest and place that foot forward up between the hands. Your back heel is going to go down. Firmly root it down. Feel the pulling up through this front leg. And then we can slowly start to take the arms coming up. So turn, so the little fingers are turned in just a little bit more. So we'll come up into Virabhadrasana 1, so the first of our warrior pose. We keep the energy pushing back into that back foot. So really work it to the outer edge of that back foot. Aim to bring that left hip forward slightly. Now we start to stretch forward. So still pushing into that back foot, still pulling up away from the front leg, and then placing the hands down to the floor. Pivot on the back foot, take the front leg back, and again, we're back up into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. So if all these dog poses feel a little bit much, then just come down to the knees, just take a breather and just join in whenever you feel you're ready. Okay, left leg. So we take that leg up nice and high. We're going to bring that knee in towards the chest and we're just going to tap on the outside of that left, just above the left elbow. Take that leg back up nice and high again. And then we're squeezing in into that midline, coming right in and place that foot forward. Now on the back foot, turn it, push the heel down. Still keep the hips facing forward. Pushing into that back foot, pull up away from the front as we start to come up, taking the arms up over the head. So again, one long line of energy moving right from that back foot, right along that back leg, lifting right up towards the fingertips. So along the front leg, we're pulling up away from the foot. It's coming round and pulling up onto, right up into the hips. Okay, bringing the arms forward, bringing the hands down, slow and control, keep pushing back into that back foot. Pivot on the back foot and then bringing that leg back. Okay, knees down. Take the bottom back towards the heels, just let the head go down just for a moment. So squeeze back through the belly. So again, we get that little compact and the squeezing in. So we feel as if we're almost contracting in the belly. So nice and tight in the belly. Okay, so from there, bring it back up again, hands and knees. Tuck the toes under, and then again, once again, we're lifting up into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Now again, we're going to be lifting up with our right leg. So we're taking that leg up nice and high. We bring it in, so we have the knee touches on the outside of that right arm. And then it lifts back again. Okay, this time it's coming forward, coming right through, placing the foot down. Okay, back foot this time is going to push down, and we start to lift up with the left hand, and it's going to come up. So we're in Virabhadrasana 2. Okay, I know you can see the back of me now, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so back leg nice and strong, push right to the outer edge of that back foot. Make sure your bum's not sticking out, and that front leg, roll it out a little bit further, keep the knee lined up over the ankle bone, and the arms shooting out to the sides, level with the shoulders. Now keep it a little bit soft. Remember my loop-ins, so they're soft. They're soft and they blow around, but they're stable, they're rooted down. So we keep that strength of rooting down. So when we talk about the Muladhara chakra, we talk about strength, stability. It's those survival instincts that kick in. So all the things which we really need kind of at the moment. Maybe not so much on the survival, but the strong and the stable. Okay, so we're going to change this here. We're going to bring this back hand, bring it forward, and then again pivot round so we're back into Virabhadrasana 1. Then stretch the arms forward, bring it all the way down to the floor. We pivot on the back foot, and we're stepping that leg back. So straight back up into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Remember, you do have the option, you can always just come down to the knees and wait until we're ready to go up. Okay, from here, lifting up with the left leg. So taking that leg up nice and high. Bring that knee in towards the chest, squeeze it in, and then take it to the outside of that left arm. Okay, so squeezing into the belly to keep it there, and then taking that leg up and back. Then this time we squeeze that leg in, it pulls right in, squeezing into the belly, squeezing in, and placing that foot forward. So when we're here, we pivot round on that back foot. So from there, we're going to lift up with our right arm, and we come up and right round, Virabhadrasana 2 again. So this time you see the front of me. Okay, so my bum is tucked in, legs nice and strong. This knee is stacked up right on top of the ankle bone. The arms are out to the sides. There's a softness to the body, a softness. Now, even though the legs are really rooted down, they're really holding the structure of this pose by keeping us rooted down. We're also getting a massive workout in the hips because of the angle of them. We have one leg externally rotated, while the other is either facing forward or with a slight inward. No, it shouldn't. It should be kind of pulled back slightly. But depending on how we are, we tend to kind of roll in. So we need to kind of really get that to pull out. But it's not working as much as this leg. On the rotation, it's stretching out. So arms are out to the sides. Then with the back hand, we're bringing the arm up and over, bring the hand down to the floor, so we pivot on that back foot. We're stepping it back, so we're back into our plank. If you can, the knees, chin and chest, or we come down into Chaturanga, nice and slowly, squeezing those elbows in. Okay, release the feet, press down through the right side, and we look up. We exhale as we come down. We inhale onto the left and exhale down. We inhale coming up and we exhale coming back down. Then we can either knees or we push down into the arms, we push back up again, all the way up into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Now from here, just slowly start to walk your feet in towards the hands again. You're going to grab hold of your 2 blocks, place them out in front, and then come up into a flat back. Now keeping hold of your blocks, we're going to keep the right leg where it is and taking the left leg just a little, maybe about kind of 2.5, 3 feet just between the feet. Back foot needs to stay firmly rooted down. Now you can see kind of back is fairly flat on here. This is where I want it to be, to kind of extend the spine a little bit more. There's a tendency, if we have the right leg forward, to jut your right hip forward. So pulling that back, that's going to work again by pushing down into that back foot, to bring that hip forward, and by the front foot, pulling up and back to keep the hips level. Okay, we extend and look forward. See if we can just come over that leg just a little bit. And I'm going to back up again. We're going to soften the knee, step it in, lengthen forward. And then we soften down. We can take the right leg back. A nice little stride back. Keep the legs as straight as we can, keeping the hips as level as we can. Pushing down onto the blocks and again looking forward. So if you don't have the blocks there, this is where a chair would just be handy. You could just have the hands onto there. That will help. Okay, so keeping those hips nice and level. Exhale as we come down. And then inhale as we come back up. We're just going to soften out and step it back in. Okay, just leave the blocks there at the front. Bend the knees, a good deep bend. Taking the arms up so we come up through chair pose, pressing down through the legs and lifting all the way up. Okay, taking this and turning it to the right. So we take the arms wide, we open up. We inhale, come back up again. Exhale, turning and looking back. Inhale, come back up. Bringing the hands down towards the heart center. Okay, bringing the hands down. Bring the hands back behind you, interlock the fingers. Now, elbows, I'm going to turn to face this way just for now. So the elbows are bent. I'm going to roll the shoulders back first, then pull the arms down straight. Okay? So we just take a few breaths here. Now, once we have the measure of where the arms are, we're just going to take the feet out just slightly wider, just to help us with a little bit more of our balance, so increasing our surface area. So press down through the feet. Slowly start to bend the knees. Keep the weight pushing back into the heels. Keep the arms drawing back. Now start to bring the chest forward. So when we bring the chest forward, it comes down towards the legs, and we slowly start to raise the arms, coming over the head. So in your forward fold is Utkatasana. So we have our arms in a slightly different position. But a forward fold is Utkatasana. No, it isn't. It's Uttanasana. Sorry, it's Uttanasana. Okay, bend the knees. Now once we've bent our knees and we separate the arms, coming into chair pose, which is Utkatasana. So we start to bring those arms up and then fire up, push up through the legs, don't straighten out to let all up, and then bringing the hands back in. Okay, well done. So hands just to the hips. Now where your hands are on your hips, going to come in a little bit closer. So get with the crease where your knuckle line is, get the hands on there. So little finger right in that crease. Thumbs want to be kind of round as far as you can, and you're digging in, so you're pushing right in. So when we come into a forward fold, we press and pull up with the fingers, we push with the thumbs to help tip us over, okay? So we're going to keep the feet fairly close together. So we're digging in, dig in with the fingers and also pull up. Lift up in the chest and then dig in with your thumbs as you start to come over. So when we start to come forward and we're coming into that forward bend, we let the hands come down to the floor. Now, once you're down, whether they're down to the floor or not, we're going to move them. So you're going to grab hold of your elbows and then just let the arms dangle down. If you're with your legs bent, then that's fine. Don't worry about it. If you can straighten the legs, then straighten them out. So here, now, again, we are in Uttanasana. Now we release the hands down. Grab hold of your blocks again, and we come up halfway. Adha Uttanasana. Exhale, come all the way back down again. Bring the hands down to the floor. Then take the hands into the crease again on the tops of the legs. Bend your knees. We're going to come up, take the elbows back. So Utkatasana, legs, and then push and come up. Okay, so rolling out with the shoulders. So we reset ourselves and push down. Inhale, take the arms up over the head. Exhale, again, go wide. So we open up to that right hand side. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, we turn and we look back. We inhale, we come all the way back up. We exhale and we come back down. Okay, good. Nice work. So we're going to bring ourselves just down to sitting. So if you can, aim to keep the legs together as much as you can, and we bend the legs, keeping the heels down. I get about halfway and then my heels start to lift up. So see what you can do, see how far you can go. So I can get to about there, up, and then the hands have got to come down. So see if you can come down just in one go. Okay, so grab hold of your blocks again. And push your hands down to lift up. So we're sat in a pose called Dandasana, or sometimes known as staff pose. So if I turn that way on, you'll be able to see it a little bit clearer. So we should be nice straight back, and the hands, I'm not just kind of really pushing down into my hands. Even you can have your fingertips just on the floor just to help with that lift, and legs are pressing down. This is already a strong enough pose for a lot of people to do if you're not used to sitting up straight. So if that's the case, grab yourself a block to sit on if you feel you're doing that, trying to sit up. You want to be sat straight. Okay, so we're going to take this into a twist. So from there, we're all going to grab ourselves a block now to sit on. And we're going to sit on the edge of that block, so with the point facing forward. So I'm going to stay sideways on, just so you can see, can be a little bit better. Okay, so from there, I'm going to take my left leg and place it underneath the right, with the knee facing forward. And then I grab hold of the right ankle and place that leg over the top. So one leg is up tall and one leg shooting back. Now, if there's an issue with the lower leg or with the knees, then just bring that leg so it's forward. And just holding on. Now, because we're sat up on a block, if you have got your other block handy, just stick it behind you, unless you've got lovely long arms. Okay, now we're going to take our right hand, because our right leg is on the top. So right arm, bring it right up, turn it back behind. So it pushes down into the block. So it already starts as a little bit of a twist. We can bend the elbow a little bit and start to bring a little bit more of the belly and the chest through. And then take your left arm right up in the air and bring it down over that right leg. So we're going to press down with both hands, or with the hand and the elbow. We're pressing down. Seat is firmly rooted down. We inhale and we lift, and we exhale as we turn. Now remember, keep it a little bit pliable, so you want a little bit of wriggle movement in it. So if you're feeling completely rigid in the pose, ease off slightly. Neck is just fairly passive, so working that twist more through the belly and through the rib cage. Okay, inhale, lift. Exhale as you come back round. And then from there, straighten out with the legs. So we come back again into Dandasana. Okay, I'm going to just turn so you'll see more of me rather than the back of me. Okay, so we're going to take, so from sitting in Dandasana, we're going to take our right leg this time. It's going to go underneath. So it goes underneath and we have the knee facing forward. I'm going to grab hold of my left ankle, leg nice and loose. I bring it over the top with the knee reaching up towards the ceiling. This bit is still firmly rooted down. Again, we're still working on rooting down in order for us to lift up and for us to grow. So we keep hold. Then we take our left arm, large circle with the arm, bring it back, either onto your blocks, or if your arms are long, you might not need a block there. So we're onto there, so the shoulder is moving back. We can bend the arm a little bit and get a little bit of room just to bring that midsection through. We inhale and we're taking that right arm up. We exhale, we bring it down over the knee. So we get a good firm kind of grip over there. And then we can push down into both hands in order for us to lift, to grow up a little bit more. And then it's safe just to enable us to get that twist. Okay, and inhale, press down, and exhale as we come back round, straightening out the legs. So again, we come back into Dandasana and we press down. Just soften the legs for a moment. And really commit to that breath. So you'll feel on the exhalation, the body just starting to release, to let go. Now, if you feel okay sitting up nice and tall, you can lose the block. We're just going to grab hold of the belt. And we could just take hold just of the belt wrapping round across the ball of the foot. Enable us to get a last bit of a stretch out. So we're going to hold onto that. We're not going to come forward. We're just going to work on lengthening. So the feet are pushing away, the legs are pushing down. If you push down enough with the legs, you'll find that your heels start to lift up a little bit from the floor. I'm pulling onto the belt in order to lever myself up even more. I'm rolling my shoulders back and down. So keeping that lift, holding there. And just again, just focus on your breathing. So after your next exhalation, and just start to bring yourself back round and just to lose the the belt for a moment. You're going to bring yourself to lying down. So whatever you need to be able to lie down on your back, and make yourself as comfortable as possible. So even if you've got blankets and things over you, if you want to place the blocks even on top of you just to add that little bit of extra weight, then I think that always feels quite nice. It makes you feel quite secure when you have that extra weight just on top of you. So if you want to grab whatever you need, and then just lying yourself down just flat on your mat. Obviously, if you have back issues, then you can bend your knees a little bit and just place something underneath the knees, and it'll take the pressure off on your back. Now, I have some cards which I often work with. So I'm going to shuffle this deck of cards, and normally I hand them out in the class. That's a little bit tricky at the moment. So I'm going to pick one of the cards and we'll show you what we've got. So this can be something else just to think of while we're going into Shavasana. Okay, so here we have it. And if I can read it the wrong way around. So my day begins and ends with self-love and appreciation. Okay, my day begins and ends with self-love and appreciation. So that's a nice one to take into your Shavasana. Leave that one out. So just bring to mind, there's a few things we need to think of just before completely releasing and letting go. So your intention, which you set at the beginning. So just bring that to your forefront. So just to remind yourself of why you came to your practice, what it is that you were seeking or looking for. And then also something which you wanted to maybe kind of release the body of. When we're working with the cleansing breaths, and we start to kind of release the body maybe of fear or negativity. And we can think about the postures we've done, just being strong, stable. So that encompasses the Muladhara chakra. When we work with the Svadhisthana chakra, or sacral chakra, so we worked with the strong standing poses and we're working on our hips. It's all to do with kind of creativity and new beginnings, our ability to be able to change. So how do we cope with change? Change can be quite challenging for a lot of people. So you find when we do these postures, and even if we find something that is a little bit challenging with these postures, then maybe it's an area of our lives that we need to look at. And then our finishing card that enable us to just kind of have our eyes closed and just allow our breath just to take over, to allow the body just to melt down again just towards the ground and feel the support from the ground. And just to know that the card which was picked today is quite fitting for our class. My day begins and ends with self-love and appreciation. My day begins and ends with self-love and appreciation. Just have the eyes closed, allow the body just to sink that little bit deeper. My day begins and ends with self-love and appreciation. So just slowly now, just start to bring yourselves round. Tune into the senses. Maybe just running the fingers and the thumbs just over your mat or over the floor. Thanking the ground for the support that it's given you in your practice. Open your ears to the sounds. Swallow a couple of times and just bring back your sense of taste. Blink your eyes open. Notice how you're looking out. Hopefully through relaxed eyes. And then over the next couple of breaths, just start to move around a little bit, and you can just bring yourselves just back up to sitting and just join me with the palms together. So sitting with the palms together, again, just bring your thoughts back of your intention. Let go of the things that no longer serve you. Take the hands up over the crown. Just draw the hands down past the Ajna chakra, the intuitive center, the Vishuddha at the throat, where we speak our truth and listen well. The Anahata, our center for love and compassion. Manipura, which gives us our will and our drive, our determination. Svadhisthana, our new beginnings, creativity and change. Muladhara, for our strength and our stability. Just bringing the hands back to the Anahata chakra. Again, the center for love and compassion. And although your practice was for yourself, you will have reaped the benefits, just bring to mind someone you feel could do with a little bit of help right now. And then dedicate the energy that you created in your practice to them. And as the card says, just knowing that your day begins and ends with self-love and appreciation. Namaste. And thank you for joining me on this session. If you like what I do, you can press the subscribe button. It's that side. I was saying that side, but it's that side. And the bell, it will notify you if I do have any more videos and things out, or you can check them out on my website at SucramYoga. And I shall see you another time. Okay. Thank you and well done, and stay safe.